print, and I need to start by doing my newsprint. Remember, this is for Plastisol inks. These demos are for Plastisol ink, not water-based ink. If I was doing water-based ink, I would only print on newsprint. I wouldn't take the second step with the fabric print. You don't need it. You could, but you don't necessarily need it. You just print it on paper. So with the Plastisol ink, when I'm gonna do a shirt and print on shirt or fabric, the first step is still the newsprint because I don't want to waste the fabric. So you will do a test print on newsprint. I fold it in half and put it on here so I can fold it again if it's a mess up and like use another half of the newsprint. When I flood, I don't push it all the way down. This is a lot of ink because I'm gonna do some shirts for Dildine later, but so I don't need all that right now. So I'm just gonna get a good chunk. And to flood, you're gonna flood at like an 11 o'clock. Put a decent amount of pressure and just you wanna make sure that the whole design has been covered with ink. To print, it's still 11 o'clock and you're gonna try to push all of that ink off the screen. His screen's been sitting for a while with a little bit of ink left in it, so I'm afraid we might have some issues. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to push really hard to get all that extra ink. So there's some like, not really dry ink, but it's just clogged up. So I'm gonna do a couple of ghost prints for him. Granted, he does like the faded look, but I'm not gonna do that. I wanna get all that out. So if you wanna do a couple ghost prints, if you have a clogged screen, you just have to put firm pressure and try to push that ink out. We are getting closer. That's just from the ghost print, but you can see right here I still need to push a little harder. So now your newsprints always get thrown in the trash. You cannot put paper through the dryer. It'll just like float up and burn. Just like if you put paper in a fire, that's what'll happen. So let's do some more newsprint prints. I'm gonna do a couple, like, hopefully this next ghost print I get it all out. We'll see. Typically you're not gonna have to do this because you're all screens. Now if like you're printing a job for our shop and you're printing for like one for central office, we have a couple that central office has ordered and then we keep the screens because we know they're gonna order more. Or like, okay, that's better. Or like the Titans, what's the middle school, the South middle school? I messed that up. They have a couple where we keep the screens. So you may have to do that ghost print and push some out if you're doing a job like that. And then so I push so much out that ink has actually gotten underneath and it's really thick. So I'm gonna take a dry cloth and I'm just gonna rub the bottom of the screen and try to get that ink off because I don't want that on my design. Actually looks like there's some left from the last time this was printed. Okay, so we're gonna do a regular print and see how that turns out. Now the best way to avoid that is when you go to clean a screen, make sure you get all the ink out. A student cleaned Dildine, so don't blame him. I think we're still missing a little on that edge. So this is going to be a long process, but I'm going to go ahead and do a fabric print to show you what that's going to be like. But I'm going to have to work on this off camera because it's going to be a little bit because I still got spots that where the ink is just clogged. But let me go ahead and print a fabric so you can see what that will be like. So say that my print is completely perfect. I have a good amount of ink laying down. I don't have any spots like that like you were just seeing. And I'm ready for my fabric print. For the fabric, you have to spray adhesive. lay it down and then push it down. Now make sure you don't have any ink on your hands, especially if you're doing a shirt, because when you rub like this, the ink will come off your hands and get on that shirt. Notice too when I sprayed that adhesive, I was back a little bit and I just did a light coat. If you get really close, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get that off. So just stay back a little bit and do a light coat. And so another thing that's neat about the fabric, is I can do, so like, bring that camera over here. The fabric sticks to the board. The newsprint sticks because I can't spray adhesive, that the paper will just rip. So the fabric, you can see where you are missing. So you can see right now where it's clogging up, which I could continue to push. Actually, I'm going to. Now don't do this. I'm just gonna push so I can see if I can get that out. So if I have to make a new screen, that is gonna be a pain in the butt. Okay, let me push all that away. See what we're left with. It's getting better. So, well, it's going everywhere. But the cool thing about the fabric is that if this messed up, this hasn't moved at all. So I could go down and do another print. Now this one's totally messed up because it's just bleeding because I'm pushing so hard back and forth. But say like it missed a whole chunk right there, this fabric didn't move, so I can push it right back down and print again. It's in the same spot, so that's pretty cool. And that's it.